Nothing is more frustrating than pouring money, time, and soul into an ad campaign only to watch it fade into the endless noise of the internet, lost and forgotten. That crushing feeling when your message, your vision, your hard work just doesn't stick. That's agony, right? It's like screaming into a void where no one really hears, no one truly cares. The worst part? Knowing that your competitors' ads, often bland and forgettable, somehow nail it, grabbing attention and making sales, while yours get buried. This is the daily torment for founders, investors, and leaders who fight tooth and nail for every inch of market share. There's no shortage of talent or effort here, just a brutal absence of the secret weapon that turns ads from background noise into emotional landmines etched in people's minds. Here's where the game changes. Story arcs. These aren't just fairy tale fluff. Story arcs create a journey, one with tension, stakes, conflict, transformation. This commands attention. Story arcs unlock laser-focused, visceral emotional engagement that brands desperately crave but rarely master. They're the blueprint for ads that don't just talk, they hit people where it hurts, thrill them, and make them remember. It builds suspense. It incites yearning. And it forces the audience to stay glued, because they need to see what happens next. Stop for a second and think about every ad that's ever grabbed you. What did it do? It didn't just sell a product. It made you feel something vital. It took an emotional hit, the fear, the frustration, the anger. You have buried deep and pulled it into the light. It didn't shy away. It didn't plaster over your pain with a sales pitch. It acknowledged your struggle, then showed you the way out. If your ads don't do this, then you're invisible, flat, forgettable. It's that raw. So how to harness this power, and fast? First, obsess over your protagonist. Your customer is the hero, not your product. Stop selling products. Start telling stories where your hero faces a brutal problem, something that keeps them awake at night, something raw, real, unforgiving. Drop them into conflict that mirrors their actual frustrations. A market that ignores them, investors who misunderstand, competitors who crush them. Let the story expose their pain so sharply it's almost unbearable. Now, inject rising action. Every step forward builds tension. Highlight crushing doubts, painful failures, resources running dry. Your customer's heart pounds because the struggle feels personal. When you pull this off, you're no longer an ad. You're a mirror, an emotional blowtorch. They lean in, hungry for resolution. Then reveal transformation. This isn't just a happy ending. This is the moment when your solution slices through the chaos and turns pain into power. Your hero rises. They conquer that nightmare. This moment, it's oxygen for your audience's soul. It's the reason they don't just remember the ad, they live it. Look, don't settle for superficial story arcs. Take it deeper. Use details that inject humanity into your narrative. Voice. The shadow doubts your audience won't admit aloud. This requires brutal honesty. No sugarcoating. If your ad dodges the real fight, it's dead straight away. Here's a killer tactic. Use the 3-act structure, but make it hyper-personal. Act 1 dives into the unbearable status quo, the silent gnaw of pain. Act 2 traps your hero in escalating crises, showing every false hope and grim setback. Act 3 smashes through those limits with your offer, not just as a product, but as a lifeline to freedom and mastery. You want guerrilla marketing brilliance? Layer your storytelling with unexpected twists. No one likes a straight line. It's the plot twist that sparks dopamine. The surprise reveals that plant your brand in core memory. Stir the pot emotionally with contrast between despair and hope, failure and breakthrough, isolation and belonging. Each emotional spike ratchets attention higher. Use vivid language that paints sensory scenes even in 30 seconds. Not bland facts. Transport your audience. Make them feel the cold sweat of anxiety, the boiling rage of injustice, the triumphant roar of victory. This visceral experience carves neural pathways. Your ad stops being just a message, turning into an experience your audience craves. Another insider secret is to borrow from mythic storytelling, but strip all fluff. Tap into archetypes, hero, mentor, shadow, but reframe them in brutal business terms. The investor as the mentor with tough love, the competitor as the shadow threatening to poison your kingdom. This gives your audience a framework to process emotional chaos and see themselves as the hero in their world. Forget quick fixes or viral gimmicks. Ads built on story arcs aren't just seen, they're felt, and that feeling compels action. It breaks through numbness and noise with surgical precision. Here's the raw truth: people don't buy products. They buy escape from pain, freedom from frustration, the promise of becoming more than their limits. If the market feels like a battlefield where you're bleeding out, your ads have to be your frontline soldiers, not liability. They've got to be sharp, lethal, deeply human, speaking the brutal truth your audience refuses to face but desperately craves. If you do this right, your brand won't just survive, it will thrive as a beacon for the few who dare to break free from illusions and reshape the future. Now go back to your current ads. Tear them apart with this ruthless mindset. Ask yourself, do they hurt? Do they promise transformation? Or do they just whisper platitudes while your audience's attention slips away into the abyss? If it's the latter, burn those scripts and start over. Demand that every frame, every word, every emotion twists tightly around one core mission: to make the viewer feel seen, understood, and compelled to act. Don't just inform, enrage, invite, ignite into movement. Remember, the rare few who craft ads this way don't play by rules. They obliterate them. They create networks of connection among founders, investors, and leaders who refuse the comfort of complacency, who ignite relentless becoming through shared struggle and fierce individuality. This is your rebellion against the market's bland noise. Your call to turn every ad into a battlefield where attention is won with blood, sweat, and untamed emotion. Story arcs aren't just storytelling tools. They are the chains you break and the wings you build. Harness them, seize the moment, do this, and watch your ads burn into memory, owning minds and hearts where only ghosts tread now. There's no other way.